We're about to hear very powerful, compelling testimony from Michael O'Connor from Southshields. Michael was at the Bataclan concert hall last night when the attack happened. Now, remember that there were over 100 people held hostage there and many, many people lost their lives there. Michael, good evening to you.
Hello there, hi, you alright?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for speaking to us.
No problem, I just feel like I've got to talk to someone, tell somebody about what I've seen.
You were trapped next to the stage for half an hour with your girlfriend, Michael. Tell me, sorry, for an hour and a half with your...
I think an hour and a half, yeah.
So tell me when you first noticed something was wrong. Where were you and what happened?
We were quite close to the stage. We were maybe like, I don't know, 4 or 5 people from the front, just dancing, you know. And we heard a bang, a loud bang, but I think we just thought it was part of the set, you know. I didn't react at first, and then I heard people screaming toward, like, behind me, and I turned around and I seen one person, definitely. It was from quite far away. I seen his face, but I think there was 2 people. They entered from the back of the arena, and they just started to open fire with what looked like AK-47s or some kind of automatic rifle. And
were they masked?
No, I see the one that I seen. I could see his face. The other guy, I'm not sure. I didn't really get a good look at him, but I just seen them started to open fire, and obviously I just grabbed my girlfriend and pulled her with me and tried to make my way towards the exit. You know, there was a small fire exit to the right of the stage, but a lot of us all kind of went for it at the same time, and it was a bit of a crush. We couldn't all get out, you know.
This man, when you saw his face, was he young?
It's a blur, really. You know, he looked young. I don't know.
And was he firing indiscriminately? Was he firing many times, Michael?
Yeah. It was just like an automatic shot, you know, like an automatic rifle firing into the crowd, you know. People falling all over the place, people screaming and just clawing and running and pushing to get away, you know. It's awful. It was so full as well. I think it was sold out, the gig, you know.
So you saw 2 people inside the concert hall?
I think so. I think it was 2 people, yeah.
Sure.
It's like I said, it happened so quickly, you know. Once I realized, kind of half realized what was going on, my first instinct was just to get me and my girlfriend out of there, you know. And
so I'm going to move to that in a moment or two.
Sorry.
But when this man, no, listen, please don't apologise. We are deeply appreciative of you talking to us tonight. Okay, Michael? So thank you, and just take your time, and thank you for talking to us.
No worries.
So when this gunman was firing, you saw people drop to the ground, presumably around you.
Oh yeah, all around him. Yeah, and just screams, just people just screaming, shouting, screaming. The attackers, I don't think I heard them saying anything or shouting anything or making any demands. They were just firing indiscriminately into the crowd, you know. And once they'd emptied the magazine, everybody kind of got back up and tried to make another dash for the exit, and then he just reloaded and started to fire into us all again, you know.
My goodness.
Unbelievable.
And so what you then do is you try to escape yourself with your girlfriend. So where did you go?
Well, like I said, there was to the right hand side of the stage there was a fire exit, small fire exit, and we tried to push that way, but because there's big metal barriers to stop the crowd getting onto the stage, you know, we couldn't quite get past it, you know. People were climbing over it, but we couldn't get past it, so we ended up just kind of, when he started to shoot again, just to hit the floor, just to drop to the ground. And I pulled my girlfriend underneath me and I lay on top of her. There was somebody on the bottom of my legs. There was somebody lying on top of my girlfriend's head, you know, at the time. Like, it was just a real squash, you know.
Just in case I forget to say this to you, Michael, what you have just said there is a sign of bravery, sir. That you lay on top of your girlfriend. So in case I forget to say that to you, forget about me being a journalist or a presenter. You tried to shield your girlfriend and you lay on top of her, and many people will admire you for doing that, Michael.
I just tried to help us both get out, you know. I didn't even think, you know.
So you're lying on the ground at this stage and you're lying on top of your girlfriend. There are many other people lying beside you, on top of you, around you.
There was one girl. Just to the right hand side of me. There was two men, like just to the other side of me, next to my girlfriend. Behind us, there was one girl, and then behind them there was either people unconscious and terribly injured, but I think they were dead. Just behind us.
You were seeing them. You were seeing them wounded, were you?
They were wounded. There was people. It was really strange because they looked terribly wounded and they were obviously conscious, but they weren't crying out. They were obviously trying to stay quiet, so they didn't attract more gunfire.
They were still
horrible. They were still alive, but there was lots of other. I could see lots of other people not moving. Lots of people who were obviously dead.
And you're hearing gunfire around you, and you're on the ground at this stage.
Yeah.
So what is your mind telling you to do? Is it telling you to stay still, or is it telling you to try to move, make a move?
I was really torn. I felt like I should try and get us out towards the exit, but I mean, we tried to do that once. When the gunman stopped firing, obviously he reloaded. I could hear him fumbling with cartridges, So everybody just kind of jumped up and tried to make another dash towards the exit. So we moved position, and then he obviously reloaded the rifle and started to fire. So we hit the ground again. And at that point, I thought, if we move, we're going to be killed.
How close was the gunman to you?
The thing is, I couldn't really tell. I was looking at the exit, but the gunfire sounded incredibly close. But at this point, I could hear gunfire in the balcony as well. I think they were killing people up in the balcony at this point as well. So there must have been one person, I'm guessing, behind us, or slightly to one side of us, and one, maybe two others in the balcony area. I heard stories from other people afterwards of what was going on up there, and they were, again, indiscriminately killing people. But
you were so close that you were hearing the cartridges being changed.
Yeah. That was one of the most eerie parts, just when you can hear somebody methodically kind of reloading his gun just to start opening fire on you again. It's just terrifying. Unbelievable. But
so you lay still and you played dead, presumably?
We did. We just went limp, all of us. At one point we could tell that there was activity was on the balcony, so we were whispering to each other, like in the group, we're telling each other that we're going to be okay, like to try and stay calm, just kind of like gently kind of holding each other's hands and just trying to encourage each other, just that we're going to get through it.
Did you think you were going to get through it, or did you think you were going to die?
I thought I was going to die. Like I could. At one point, because I couldn't see, we couldn't see properly, but it sounded like either they were firing down from the balcony into the main area where everybody was lying, So I guess I thought at some point they're just going to shoot at us as well, along with everybody else.
And yet you're trapped. So you think you're going to die, you're trapped, you can't move.
Yeah, I just told my girlfriend that I loved her, and what else can you do in that situation? I expected to die. My girlfriend was so brave though. She kept on telling me, like, this isn't where it's going to end. Like, we're not going to die here. And she was really strong as well for me. So amazing. Kept me going. But I really thought I was going to die. But yeah, it eventually seemed to subside. The gunfire, although it was still ongoing, it seemed more control. It didn't seem to be firing indiscriminately. I couldn't tell you what was going on because it was going on the balcony above us. But it sounded like it.
And you were keeping your head down, were you?
I had my head kind of turned slightly to one side so that I could see the very the entrance to the arena, to the gig, and I could see my side of the concert hall, and there was just bodies strewn all over the place, and I could see slightly up onto the balcony, but there was nothing above me at that point, so I couldn't really see where what was happening on that side, on the other side of the balcony. So
were you there when the police stormed the building?
Yeah, we were. We stayed there. Like I said, we lay there for maybe another half an hour, so probably an hour and 15 minutes in total until the police actually entered the building.
And you never heard these people say anything, no?
We did. One of them said in French, with a very good French accent, I'm assuming he was a French national from the way he spoke, that if we are here, it's because of your president, Francois Hollande. And then later on.
Tell me that. Sorry, Michael, that's important. Tell me that again.
He said I didn't hear him properly. He spoke in French and he spoke very fast. When my girlfriend translated for me, he said if we are here, it is because of your President Francois Hollande. And I'm assuming he was talking about Syria and what's going on over there, like with the French doing strikes and things like that, And then later on, we heard someone with a very speaking in French again, but with a very thick Arabic accent. And I'm not sure, but I think I heard. I don't know. It could have been one of the injured praying as well. It could have been anybody, but I heard somebody praying in Arabic. I'm not saying it was one of the attackers, but I don't know.
So it must have seemed like an eternity. You're lying on the ground. These people are still there.
Mm-hmm.
You hear praying around you. You've heard one of the gunmen blame Francois Hollande for you being there.
Yeah.
And then the police storm the building.
Well, it happened really, really, really. I was, like I said, I could see the door behind us, with the entrance to the arena, and I seen the door slowly open. I didn't know what was coming through, obviously. But then I seen torches, big flashlights, and I thought it's got to be the police, because the whole time.
Sorry to interrupt, Michael, but was it dark inside that hall at this stage?
It was so eerie because you could just hear the amp in the background from where the gig had obviously ended, like a fuzzy sound in the background. It was, the lights were dark, kind of flashing a little bit.
So they had turned the lights off, had they?
I don't know. I think some of the lights maybe had been shut out. Some of the lights were on, but it was very dim inside the hall. The lights were still on in some places, some places they weren't. So it was quite dim inside.
And the door opens, and you see a torch.
I see the torch light outside, and I knew it would be. I just knew it would be the police. It was then that I could finally start to think that we actually might survive this, And they came in. They were behind the big bulletproof shields, and they didn't say anything. They were just kind of motioning us to stay still, to stay where we were, They formed like a perimeter at the back of the hall, and they pointed their guns up at the balcony where the terrorists obviously still were. We heard gunfire. I don't know whether it came from the police near us or whether it was from police who perhaps had stormed the balcony or whatever, but we heard more controlled gunfire, I'm assuming it was the police. I really don't know. And eventually the police told us to wave our arms if we could, and let them know who was alive. And then they eventually, once they thought it was secure enough. Was
there much of an exchange of gunfire between the police and the terrorists?
Yeah, I think so. As I said, nothing, possibly some gunfire from the police that were just behind me. But from what I could hear up on the balcony, obviously I couldn't see it, but I could hear an exchange of gunfire. Yeah. And
then silence.
I could hear an exchange of gunfire. I could hear some shouting, muffled. Couldn't really hear it very well. Exchange of gunfire, and then silence. I couldn't hear anything. I don't know whether they had been contained or whether they had hostages or whatever, but it was very, very quiet. And the police started to make verbal commands to us, like wave if you're alive, stay where you are, things like that, And eventually they told us...
It's at that point that presumably you're realising that you've got a chance to survive.
Yeah, it was such a relief. Such a relief to see them. Unbelievable to see. I've never felt so happy in my entire life to see the police turn up somewhere. I must admit, it's just ecstatic, So obviously we were frightened to run towards them or anything because we didn't know where these people were. Still, they could have still killed us even then. And my main worry in my head was just, what if they've got a bomb? What if they just set up a bomb? And obviously they did. They did have suicide bombs. It turned out in the end, didn't it?
At what point did they activate those, or what happened?
Again, it was after. I believe it was after we had been evacuated from where we were, and the police got us out, told us to hold our hands out and run out into the street, and they'd sectioned off an area for us in the
Can I ask you, Michael, because I've just so many questions as you're stepping through this.
No, sorry.
So when you stood up
Mm-hmm.
and the police are there, can you describe the scene inside the Bataclan to me?
Like the only thing, it just looked like an abattoir. It looked like a slaughterhouse. It was just, I was wading through blood. It was like it was a centimeter deep on the ground in places. There was bodies where I had to clamber over dead bodies to get out. It was just, just everywhere, just carnage.
There were presumably people wounded, still alive.
There was, yeah. At one point, as the police told us to get out, there was a woman on the floor. She looked really badly injured. She reached out for me. I tried to step down to see her, but the police obviously pointed the gun at me and told me to get the hell out of there. Because what could I do?
She reached out to you, did she?
She was on the ground. She was reaching out to everybody as we scrambled past. It's horrible. But yeah. And I wanted to stop to help her. I put my hands down. I wanted to comfort her or something, but we were just all in the way at that point, I think. The police just wanted us out of there as quickly as possible. And thank God they did.
You run outside.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend is with you, is she?
Yeah. I kept her with us the whole time. Made sure we stayed together. And we got out. Yeah, we ran out as fast as we could, And
what did it feel like, Michael, to be outside that building?
I can't describe it. I could finally let go. Like inside, I'd been surprised. I was terrified, but I was surprisingly calm. But when I got outside, it really all just hit me what I'd seen and what I'd experienced. And just walking past everybody who didn't make it, like leaving the building and seeing people who didn't make it, it just really brought it all home, Yeah.
You described the scene inside the Bataclan as like an abattoir, thick in blood.
Yeah. There was...
Well, sorry, Michael.
No, continue. What were you going to say?
I was going to ask you how you feel about humanity. What if I ask you how this has impacted on you as a human being and your view on humanity and war and conflict and the capability of other human beings to be able to do that?
It's obviously something that I've thought about a lot. Me and my girlfriend have sat and talked about it a lot, And the best thing that we can kind of think to do is just to get on with our lives, isn't it? Like what they want to do is to terrify us. That terrorism. They want us to be terrified. They want us to be scared. And we just need to just try and get on with our lives afterwards. We can't let them win. And these people they're just monsters. They don't represent anything. They're not Muslims. They're just animals. I just can't understand the mentality, somebody like that. How can you walk in there? I'm 30 years old. I was probably one of the oldest people in the gig. It was full of teenagers and, people in the early 20s going to see a band, it's not a human who can do that. It's a monster, isn't it,
I think one of the most poignant things you've also said tonight, Michael, whether you realise it or not, they're not Muslims.
No.
In that they are not indicative, are they, of...
What's made me really sad, to be honest with you, is when I've kind of finally taken a chance after speaking to my family just to go on Facebook, and you look at some of the people posting these comments, about about immigration and Muslims and things like that, and you just think, it's ignorant. These people aren't Muslim. These people aren't human. They don't represent anyone. They're just nihilists. We should never, we shouldn't let them divide our society. That's exactly what they want to do. We can't let them win. Well, anyway, sorry.
So how do you think the world should respond to this? How do you think France and Francois Hollande, the president, has said that his response will be merciless? How do you think France and other Western states, Britain and, my goodness, even the United States, how should they respond?
If you'd asked me that question, I don't know, a few months ago, I probably would have said, going into Syria and dealing with the Islamic State possibly isn't the best idea. It's a very complex situation, etc. But the way I feel now, I just feel like we should wipe them out from the face of the earth. We really should. They're just pure evil, It really brings it home. It makes all of those stories you read in the newspapers real, And, yeah, that's what I think.
So you've changed in your thinking?
Yeah, and that's sad, because I used to be pretty proud of my liberal kind of socialist beliefs. And it only happened yesterday, so I'm probably just, it's probably just something that I've just got to work through. But it just makes me feel like the people who've done this, like I said, I'm not blaming the community or the country that they come from, but people themselves who've done this, they deserve no pity from me, after what they've done, after the things they do to innocent kids, man.
Are you at home? Have you got home?
I'm in Paris still. Still in Paris.
You're still in Paris. Are you going to stay there?
I'm here with my girlfriend. Like I said, we've got friends. And she's got family here. We're at a cousin's house at the moment in Paris. So we're here. We really want to get back to Lyon. To be honest, I really want to get back to Newcastle, and so she'll see all my family, and just see them in the face, give them a hug and stuff. I didn't think I'd see them again, but.
Do you need help to get back?
I don't think so. I think we're okay. We've got train tickets to get back to Lyon and stuff, and then I guess when I get back to Lyon, I'm just going to have to work out what we do then.
Michael, I'm pretty sure. I don't want to step outside my remit here, but I'm pretty sure that if you need to get back home quickly, that there would be people who can help you do that.
Well, that's really nice to see. That's really nice of you to say. I've already had every one of my friends on the phone saying, get back home and we'll pay for you. We just want you back home. But I just, to be honest, I don't even know what to do with myself at the moment. I just need to sit with my girlfriend, work through a few things before I even think about what's next.
Are your parents still alive, Michael?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I've been on the phone to them today. I couldn't ring them after it happened. I couldn't ring my mum after it happened because I just thought, I'm not out of it yet, even though I was in the street, outside. I didn't want to ring her until today when I could tell her that I was safe, I didn't. And it was incredibly emotional when she answered the phone, because obviously I hadn't even told my family that I was going to be in Paris, And obviously they worry. I'm in Lyon, and the kind of people who worry if they hear anything that's happened in France, even though it's nowhere nearby, But when I called them and I said, I was there last night. I was at that gig.
Can I ask?
It was a very, very emotional day.
Can I ask you what your mother's reaction was?
She just broke down. She just broke down and started to cry. When I told her I was there, because she thought, even though she was like, oh, dear me, something happened in France, she thought I was safe in Lyon. And when I told her that I'd been there at that gig, she just broke down and cried.
Michael.
Yeah.
You have spoken with such dignity this evening, okay?
Oh, thank you.
I want to point a number of things out to you. I've already pointed out to you that you lay on top of your girlfriend to protect her. And that says a lot about you. I don't know you, but it will say a lot about you to many, many people listening to this program tonight. You have then told us at the end of this interview that essentially you were thinking about your mum before yourself, even when you got out of the Bataclan. You didn't want to ring her because you knew it might upset her, and you didn't want to ring her until you could tell her you were safe. And that also says a lot about you, Michael.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
I want to say thank you for trusting us with your story.
I just felt like I needed to help people, and I want to see, I don't know, I have to get it off my chest, I suppose, but no problem.
You have told people listening to this network in an amazingly powerful, dignified way, Michael. And I'm glad you're safe. And
Thank you very much.
can I just stress to you again, and just think about this, all right? It would be our pleasure to try to, give you the contacts, put you in touch with the right people. If you need to get home to see your family, it would be our pleasure to try to put you in touch with the right people that will help you do that, Michael, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Night night.